I'm Rosheen, I'm the head chef at Etta in Brunswick, which is where we are right now. So Etta is my first head chef job, and it has been incredibly daunting because I haven't run a kitchen before, I haven't been accountable for a team before, and there are a lot of things that have popped up that have been beyond my current skill set. Any difficulty that I have is always buffered by how good our team is. And I've got a great team, which makes all the difference. We're all very single-minded in what we're trying to achieve. Everyone's really passionate about this restaurant and the food we're cooking. Some of the biggest challenges that I found in cooking and being a chef has been on my mental health. Having worked in the type of kitchens I was working in, where you're working 80, 90-hour weeks. And for me, I actually had an underlying mental health condition. And so because of the type of pressure I was on, it exacerbated it, and I actually ended up being diagnosed with bipolar disorder. But then on the flip side, because of the environment I was in, I managed to get a diagnosis, and now I'm treatable, happy, stable, and I can step back a bit and sort of remember the situation that I was in that was so detrimental, and make sure that in my kitchen that will never be the case. Being able to be open about it, being able to approach your head chef and be like, hey, I feel like crap this week, I'm sorry if my work's suffering for it, but and I'll be like, hey, what can we do? Because you don't want any of your peers or the people that you spend 95% of your time with to be, struggling or in anything aside from tip-top shape. My style of food is definitely something that's still developing, obviously because I'm only 4 months in, and before that I was always cooking somebody else's food. Once I was put in a position where I had to write my own menu, I ended up unintentionally looking and always using flavours that were really comforting and familiar to me. So I did these beautiful goat ribs in the style of a Kashmiri dish. It's called kabaga, so it's a Kashmiri lamb rib usually, but it lends itself really, really wonderfully to goat. It's also a really important dish because I've never really seen it made by anyone at all aside from my family and within my culture. So it's a pretty cool thing that I've managed to cook it. The lamb dish it's an amalgamation of Middle Eastern, so more Turkish, and I guess somewhat even North African. And I just really love kebab, which is my favourite way to eat lamb, honestly, on a stick. I think it's too early to say where the dream is, because I think initially I was dreaming a little bit too small, because my 2-year plan last year has now completely changed. In a good way, because had COVID not happened, I wouldn't have had Etta. So I'm not going to look too much forward right now, because I think there's enough for me to do presently. Keep learning and spend more time perfecting the small things than trying to change the game, because at the end of the day, you can have the biggest dreams in the world and want to do all this really amazing stuff with food, but if you don't have the basic skill, or if you don't know how to cook, then there's only so much you can do.